146201. English for Phayao Studies. Chapter 4. Temples and Historical Sites. Vocabulary. Number 1. Monastery. Noun. A building or group of buildings in which monks live and worship. Example. With a limited economic base, nonetheless, the investment in creating a cosmology within a monastery in the early 9th century is truly extraordinary. Number 2. Buddha image. An image or statue of Buddha. Example. Buddha images can be found in every Buddhist temple. Number 3. Disciple. Noun. A person who believes in the ideas and principles of someone famous and tries to live the way that person does or did. Example. He and his disciples had come to know each other in many ways during their time together. Number 4. Ceremony hall. Noun. A building or large room used for religious events involving a lot of people. Example. Many Buddha images are housed in a ceremony hall. Number 5. Religious. Adjective. Relating to religion. Example. His poetry is imbued with deep religious feelings. Number 6. Appreciate. Verb. To recognize how good someone or something is, and to value him, her, or it. Example. I don't think you quite appreciate the delicacy of the situation. Number 7. Reside. Verb. To live in a place. Example. The family resides in Arkansas. Number 8. Enshrine. Verb. To contain or keep in a place that is highly admired and respected. Example. The pagoda is the place where Buddhist people enshrine Buddha's relics. Number 9. Make merit. Verb. To create the quality of being good and deserving praise for one's life. Example. On Buddhist holidays, Thai people go to the temple and make a merit by offering food to the monks. Number 10. Perform. To do a job, task, or a duty. Example. The monks performed a number of religious rites that had us feel deep religious emotion. Grammar. Modal plus base form. Modal verbs such as can, could, may, might, must, will, would, shall, should, ought to, need are auxiliary verbs. They give information about ability, possibility, obligation, necessity, futurity, suggestion to the main verbs. For example, Joey can sleep in bed. Ability to sleep in bed. Joey should sleep in bed. Suggestion to sleep in bed. Joey must sleep in bed. Obligatory to sleep in bed. Form of modals. Will, shall. For futurity, permission. Would, for possibility, permission. Should, for suggestion. Can, could, for ability, possibility, permission. May, might, for permission, possibility. Must, for obligatory. For example, subject plus modal plus base form verb. A man will visit Phayao next week. The man will be in Phayao next week. Ability Can, can't, could, couldn't. Be, not able to. We normally use can, can't, could, couldn't to talk about ability in the present and past. I can't remember much about it. He could speak French and Italian. To talk about ability on one specific occasion in the past, we use couldn't, were able to, was able to, be able to, but not could. The police were able to find out that he could speak French and Italian. Not the police could find out that he could speak French and Italian. Possibility. We use must, may, might, could, couldn't, and can't when there is some evidence, information or belief that something is probably or possibly true or not. The modal verb we choose depends on the strength of evidence we have to support our ideas. Very likely. Must. John must be a criminal. Possible. Might, may, could, may not, might not. John may, might, could kill that girl. Very unlikely. Can't, couldn't. John couldn't be a policeman, as he told you before. Could, may, and might express the same degree of possibility. Couldn't expresses the same probability as can't. It is usually used to talk about the past. May not and might not does not express the same probability as couldn't. Obligation and necessity. The verbs must, mustn't, have to, have got to, and need to express obligation and necessity. We use must when the obligation comes from the speaker. You must invite me to your party. The speaker wants this. Must is usually used on signs, notices, and printed information. Must is used in the present time, but for the past time, we use had to. We had to get up early to catch the bus yesterday. When there is an institutional role or a law, have to or need to are more common than must. You have to get a work permit before you go. This is a rule. Have to is more common in spoken English than must, but in written English, it's either is used. Have got to is more common in spoken English than written English. I have got to find some place to leave quite quickly. Must, have to, have got to, and need to are used in the present time. No obligation. We use do not have to, do not need to, and needn't to suggest that there is no obligation or necessity to do something. You do not have to, do not need to, needn't buy that book before you go. It is not necessary to buy that book. Mustn't has different meaning to do not have to, do not need to, needn't. Compare the following examples. You do not have to wait here. It is not necessary to wait here. You mustn't wait here. You are not allowed to wait here. Suggestion and advice. We use should, shouldn't, ought to, ought not to make suggestion or give advice. You should stop smoking. You ought to go home now. You ought not to do like this. Conversation.
Describing places.
Conversation example.
Have you been to Phayao?
No, not yet. Is there anything interesting there?
Lots of impressive places to visit. You must pay a visit once in your life.
Tell me one example, please.
Phayao is a multicultural province. You will find diverse culture in some places, especially in the monastery. Some monasteries exhibit the unique identities of the various ethnic groups living in Phayao. Let me tell you about Wat Nantaram. Wat Nantaram is located in Changkam district. It is about 80 kilometres from Phayao. This temple was built by Burmese millionaires who emigrated to Phayao. The outstanding building in the temple is a ceremony hall built in Burmese style. The building structure, the walls and the floor, are made of teak wood. It is called Jong by local people. The roof of the hall is multi-tiered and also made of teak. The hall is in a square shape and divided into two main sections. The front section is a ceremony hall. This part is used by the monks and lay people for performing religious rites. There is an altar as the boundary between the front and back sections. On the altar, the big Buddha image is placed. There is a line of rooms for the monks to reside, about 5 metres from the ceremony hall. This is the back section of the hall. It is the monks' residence. This is quite different from a Lana temple compound. In this type of temple, the monks' residence is separated from the ceremony hall. Besides this, there is an exhibition of valuable Burmese objects, such as antique banknotes, traditional costumes, and paintings depicting the past life of Lord Buddha when he was Bodhisattva, that is, one who is becoming a Buddha in the future. Another impressive exhibit in the hall is a wooden carved sermon throne. This throne is a replica of a Burmese royal throne.
Wow, it's impressive. I think I should visit Phayao this summer.